Alright, I'm Or. I'm the co-founder of Yo and the CEO. And I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about myself. I'm going to speak slowly because it's hard for me to speak English. It's a little bit hard for, as I understand, for you guys to understand English. So it started a few years ago. When I started, I signed up to study computer science. And when I signed up, I was waiting. I went to visit my friend in LA while I was waiting for the university to start. And back in those days, I had a pocket PC. I don't know if you remember. There were these old pocket PCs with these pens that you tap on the screen. And my friend told me about this new device called an iPhone that Apple just came out with. And I told him that this iPhone is, Apple are geniuses in marketing, but it's probably all that is because my pocket PC can do exactly what the iPhone can do. So he convinced me to go to the Apple store, and I went inside the store. And I was playing with the iPhone, and I said, all right, I'm not going out of this store without one of these. Because it's true that it does the same. I mean, my pocket PC can play MP3, it can play movies, it can browse the internet. But the question is not what it can do, is it how it does it. Because the iPhone did everything better. So I bought the iPhone. Problem was that the iPhone was locked for AT&T in the States. And you couldn't bring an iPhone to Israel and use it. You had to unlock it. So me and my friend, we went online and we learned how to unlock the iPhones. And I came back to Israel and I started this service of unlocking devices for people. And it went pretty good. It got me some money to go to the university. I was hooked on the iPhone. And I studied the computer science, and for the final project, I went to a professor who I knew was a Mac geek, and I asked him to do a final project in iPhone. This was the first time that anybody did a project on iPhone in the university, and I did a game in the iPhone. And I finished the university. I went out to the market. I started working in a project company, worked on many apps, and worked for a year. And then after a year, right before I wanted to go independent and start my own business of developing apps, I got a phone call from a guy that actually used my services to unlock his phone a few years before that. And he told me that he works in a startup called Mobley, and they need an iOS developer. He told me to come and meet Moshe, which is the founder of Mobley. So I went to meet Moshe, and he told me about his startup. It's a photo sharing app. This was before Instagram came out. And Mobley is somewhat similar to Instagram. It's a photo sharing app and video sharing app. And I joined Mobley. I thought, startup sounds cool. Let's try doing a startup. I ended up working 2 years in Mobley, doing the iOS app. And after 2 years, I came to Moshe, which by then was already familiar with many investors. And I told him that I want to open a new company. I have a few ideas, and I want to open a new company. So he didn't want to let me go that easy. So he told me that he has a few ideas also. So we went through his ideas, and one of them seemed really good for me. It was a social trading platform. So we thought about how we're going to start this social trading platform. We chose a name for it. It was called Stocks. It's still called Stocks. It's still, people are still building it. And I'm talking about exactly a year ago. And me and Moshe started the company Stocks. And I was working as a CTO, and working like 3 months only building the team. Building a team in a startup is actually a pretty difficult task. You can't just take 5 engineers, put them in a room and let them build something. It really takes time until people start communicating together, and sometimes people have to go and people come and people go. It took about 3 months only to build the team. And in about January this year, we actually started to see the team coming together and started work on the product. Then it was in March when Moshe, my partner, asked me a simple question. He asked me, how much time does it take to make an app that has one button that when you tap it, it sends a push notification to someone's phone? So I said it takes 2 hours. So he asked, can you do such an app? Can you make such an app for me? And I said, I don't have 2 hours because I was working so hard on stocks and I didn't have 2 hours. And anyway, I thought, if you're the only one who's going to use this app, why would I waste my time on it? Okay, so I told him forget about it. And 2 weeks later, he comes back and he says, it's really annoying to me. I'm sitting in a meeting, I'm talking with people, and every time I want my assistant to come into the office, I have to call her or I have to text her, and then she texts me back, and then I have to read her text. And it's really annoying. Why do all I want to do is just send her like a notification, and she already knows that when she gets this kind of notification, I need her in the office. So again, I told him, well, how many people in the world have a personal assistant? And it seems like a silly idea, so leave me alone, I'm not going to do this app. And that was that. But a day later, I had some time to think about the app that he asked me. And I was driving my car, and I thought about how to do this app. If I was to do this app for Moshe, how was I to do it? I thought about doing it like downloading some image from Google Images, like a service bell from like in a hotel where you tap it and it like does ping. And I thought about all sorts of ideas. But suddenly I remembered about a friend of mine in LA that we communicate in practically the same manner. We send each other text messages that has no content. I mean, we send each other question marks, exclamation points, and the word yo. He was sending me the word yo, I was texting him back the word yo. And I can now go to my phone and see the history and see whole conversations which are only the word yo back and forth. So I said to myself, this is the same kind of communication that Moshe wants with his assistants. So maybe it's not such a bad idea. And the more I thought about it, the more I got excited about it. And I thought about yo, I mean the word yo. And I thought about the branding. This can be a really cool brand, yo. And I was so excited. I wanted to get home and to start coding it. And I was so excited that when I stopped at the red light on my way home, I actually stopped and bought the domain. But because before someone else will buy my domain, so I was like going on GoDaddy and bought the domain. And then I got home and I started right away. And I was looking for the fastest way to send push notifications. And I thought about how this app should be the simplest app ever. It should do only one thing. It should only send yo, nothing else. The sign-up process should be as simple as it gets. Why? I don't need your email, I don't need your Facebook, your Twitter. Forget about everything we know about how to make apps, because there is a way on how to do apps. You need a navigation bar, you need a tab bar, there is screens coming from the left, the sign-up process, we need your email, we need your phone number, we need everything about you. Forget about that. We don't need anything. Just pick a name. You can now send a yo to your friend, and you can get a yo. And in the first version, there was no password, there was no find friends. If you wanted to yo your friend, what I would say is you ask your friend, what is your yo username? Personally. I mean, this is supposed to be for people that you actually talk with on a daily basis. So you simply ask your friend, what is your Yo username? Oh, you don't have Yo. Download it. Now you have his Yo username, you add it and you can Yo each other. So this was the first version. And like it says in the papers, it took 8 hours to make it. And it's a very, very simple app, as you know. And when I finished it, I sent it to my partners in stock. We have this WhatsApp group. We are 5 people there. So I sent it there and I said, meet Yo, a 0 characters communication tool, because 140 characters is way too much these days. And 3 of them said, this is genius. This is beautiful. The design is beautiful. This is new, and you know they got really excited. One of them said, this is the stupidest app you've ever seen, and Steve Jobs must be rolling in his tomb. And we told him that he simply doesn't get it. And then he started suggesting, no, it's useless. Why don't you add a few words? Why don't you add that if I tap it, now it opens a few words? And we said, no, it's 0 characters. There are no words. It does nothing. And then he said, well, why don't you add my Facebook so I can see my Facebook friends? And I said, no, I'm not adding Facebook. I don't want you like to Yo your 200 friends. I want you to Yo only your closest friends. So we got excited of the outcome of how Yo came to be, and we sent it to friends and families. And we immediately saw that once it gets into an office, everybody downloads it. Everybody downloads it and start Yoing each other, and people like it. People like Yoing each other. People like tapping a button and then receiving a response and knowing that somebody else, somewhere else, tapped their name and thought about that. But no one thought for a second that I would leave Stocks, which is a startup that I just started 6 months before that. And Moshe, my partner, he's still the CEO of Mobley. So no one thought that either of us would leave his job for this so-called stupid app. It was really a process. It took a few months until we decided to do what we did. I'm talking about March, and after we saw that people really like Yo, we decided to release it to the App Store. So we released it to the App Store in the 1st of April, and we said, let's see what happens. And the next thing that happened was that a tech blogger from the Silicon Valley, his name is Robert Scoble, he came to visit Israel, a lot of companies in Israel, startups. And Moshe showed, he visited Mobley, and Moshe also showed him Yo. And Robert Scoble posted on his Facebook that he just saw the stupidest but most addicting app ever. And what happened next is that a lot of people from the Silicon Valley, from the tech industry, saw this post, and then it got posted on this new website called Product Hunt, and then a lot of people from the startup industry started tweeting about it and using it, and I noticed it. I was looking in Twitter, I was searching for Yo app and everything, and when I saw that people like developers, designers, all these people are talking about the Yo app, some of them hate it, some of them like it. So I said, this is the moment that we need to release an API. So the API allows anyone to send a Yo. So we said, if I can get a Yo from my friends, from my family, why can't I get a Yo from everything? From McDonald's when the order is ready, from Starbucks when the coffee is ready, from my favorite sports teams when they score a goal or a touchdown. Basically make it like a center of notifications. And this API allows that, and we said if we release the API, all these smart people can think about ideas that we didn't even think about. So at that point, when I thought about it, I sat all night and I released the API, and I wrote a blog post about how I see businesses, websites, and I even wrote about an ice cream truck that can use it. Even businesses that are not online can now send push notifications to the customers. And I went to sleep, and in the morning when I woke up, I got an email from people in the Silicon Valley. And I said, one of the emails said, this is brilliant, where are you located? And I was in Israel, but I responded, hey, I'm from Israel, but guess what? I'm coming to the Silicon Valley to meet a few people. I wasn't, but that's what I said. And then this is what I did. Me and Moshe, my partner, we decided that I'm going to go for a week to speak with people and to see what's going on over there, how people are reacting to the Yo app. Because we thought that the Yo app has a lot of potential, but everyone said this is the stupidest thing. I mean, all my friends, when I sent my friends the Yo app, they asked me, what is this? And I said, it's an app that says Yo. So they said, this is the stupidest app I've ever seen. And I said, you just wait and see, it can become something bigger. Because if you look at the Yo app in the beginning, if you look at something, you need to think about what it can become rather than what it is right now. And we really saw the potential in it. And so I went to San Francisco. And when I was there, I noticed that a lot of people are using the Yo app and they like it. And they think it has a lot of potential. So we weren't the only crazy people in the world. There were other crazy people in the world who think this app has potential. So when I came back, it started to become obvious that I should go there and do it full time. The team at Stocks, my startup, was already strong, and they could continue build the product without me. And that was the time when we decided that I'm going to go to San Francisco and start a company. So we thought about how much money is needed to build such a company. A small team, 5 people, an office, salaries, expenses, rent, and we came up with about $750,000. Then, when Moshe showed it to his angel investors, more people wanted to put in money. So it came to about $1 million. So I came to San Francisco with an investment of $1 million to open a company and to grow the product. So I went there and was looking for an office, was looking for employees. This was in June, in the beginning of June, and in mid-June, 2 reporters that heard about Yo and saw it and downloaded it and used it, called me and they wanted to do an interview about it because it was so different. The app was so different than anything on the App Store. It has a blank icon, which I think is the first time in the App Store. It does only one thing, one very, very simple thing. And it was made in 8 hours. So they interviewed me. One of the articles in the Financial Times was, he wrote about a nice app that allows you to communicate in a new way, in a simple way, that takes simplicity to the minimalistic level that it can be. And the other article was talking about how the stupidest app in the world raised $1 million. And when I woke up the next day, that was the time when everything exploded and turned around. My phone didn't stop ringing, and all the emails and reporters and CNN and live TV and everything. And I said to myself, okay, this is gonna be like 3 days, I don't know, 4 days, and then it's gonna calm down. But it didn't. It kept going and going for about a month. Just articles all the time, and everyone is talking about it. And it got like 1 million downloads in 4 days after the blow up, which I never heard about such an explosion. And it kept going and going. So 3 months later, people were still talking about it, not as much as they used to, but still. And right now, we're almost at 3 million downloads, and we're continuously developing the product itself. We don't want to add complexity to the app, so everything that we're adding, we're really carefully considering how not to add complexity to the app, but we want to grow the platform around it. So when we look at the Yo app, we're not seeing just an app that says Yo. We're seeing like a huge platform for notifications where you can basically communicate with everything, whether it's a business or it's a restaurant, it's a shop, it's a website, whatever. You can get notifications from it, and you can send notifications to it, and you don't have to download an app for each website or blog that you want to get notified about. So right now we're focusing, the company is focusing, we're now in San Francisco, we have an office with 11 people. The 5 people came to 11 since we didn't think about it, but when you have like 3 million users, you need customer support and you need business development. A lot of brands, a lot of businesses wants to join and use the platform. So the team is working on what is next for the Yo. And the thing that is next for Yo is the platform, is the developer platform. I don't know how many people here are developers? No developers here? So we are basically counting on external developers to come and build services. It already started. We have the Yo Index, which shows a list of services that people can subscribe to and get notifications from. And we give a very simple API, and you can also send a link with the Yo. It's not just Yo anymore, it's a little bit more. And the next iteration is going to allow you to send your location with the Yo. And the more stuff that we add, the more the possibilities get bigger and bigger, because if you can send a Yo with a location, think about what you can do, what you can get. You can order a taxi with a tap of a button. You can get a hotel recommendation with a tap of a button. The location adds many, many more possibilities. And as we saw in Israel, for example, an example in Israel, we didn't think about it, but there was a situation in Israel right now with missiles, and developers from Israel actually connected the Yo app with the missile detection system, and Israelis actually got notified about missiles in the air using the Yo app. And this is an example on how simple things can turn out to be things that you never thought about. It's like Twitter is causing revolutions. Nobody thought that people will use the Yo app to get notified about missiles. So this is how we see Yo expanding and growing to be a very big platform, and we think it has a lot of potential. And our mission in 5 years is for every user to have the Yo app and to have the ability to sign up, to register to services that he is interested in and get notified about them. And a lot of people are asking me, yeah, but I can download an app. Let's say I want to get notified about sports. I can download an app for sports, and the same for news. So what I'm thinking is, I don't want to download an app for every tiny notification that I want. I don't want 20 apps on my phone. What I want is the option within one app to choose what I want to get notified on, and also I can also communicate with my friends. Send them Yos and get Yos, and that's basically how Yo was started and where is it going. And if anyone has any questions, I'm open to take them.
じゃあ、ご質問がある方、挙手できますでしょうか。信じられない。
No questions. Simple app.
Simple.
Simple.
300 million downloads? No, 300 million. 3 million.
3 million.
300万ダウンロード。で、今もう、榊原は今イスラエル行ってるじゃないですか。で、ガザがものすごい活発な時に、レッドアラートって何で知ってますか？ミサイルがガザからだいたい60キロか80キロ離れてて、ミサイルが飛んでくるのに、だいたい1分半ぐらい時間かかるらしいんですけど、発射されたら、レッドアラートって言って、ブーブーブーブーって言って、ミサイル飛んできましたよ、避難してくださいみたいなのが流れるのが、今、ヨーと連携してて、ミサイルが飛んでくるとヨーが、ヨー、ヨー結構陽気な感じで、ミサイルが飛んでくるっていう連携も今、実際にヨーの API を使ってやってるみたいな話があったんですけど、まあなんかそこら辺の話も含め、なんか興味あるところあれば。
通訳もできますか？
はい。
通訳できるのは日本語でも。
日本語でも何でも。さっき、はい、どうぞ。
日本語で大丈夫ですか？
大丈夫です。ちょっと下手くそです。
はい。ちょっと専門的なところですけど、デザインの話をちょっと聞きたくてですね、かなりシンプルなアプリケーションだと思うんですけども、どういうふうにチームの中でデザインを作っているのかをちょっと教えてほしいなと思いまして。
Well, when I thought about how to design the app itself, my partner asked for an app with one button. I knew that we had to make it generic so everyone can use it and with a few people. So instead of one button, I said let's make a few buttons, like a list of buttons, but big buttons. And I knew it had to be flat design. So I went online and I was looking for flat designs and flat colors, and I saw a palette of flat designs, flat colors, and I started playing with it, and I started like putting it on the iPhone. And I think one of the reasons is that it's so simple is because I'm not a designer, and I'm not very good at Photoshop, so I didn't try to open the Photoshop and try to do crazy buttons and all the graphics and icons and PNGs. No, I was just like, I want it flat, I want it simple, I want it lazy. So I was pretty much lazy, and I was just, let's pick the color and do like squares, simple squares, and I think because of that it came out that simple.
わかります。わかります。
半分ぐらいしかわからないです。
要はなんか、面倒くさかったから全部もう色とかを統一して、四角にしてみたいな、シンプルにやることを心がけたっていうところで、彼の性格もあったのかな、個人的に思ってるんですけど、はい、
はい、ありがとうございます。
はい、他にございますか？
The question is about the kind of like imitating app. So in the App Store, there are many kind of like beer app or something like which has the same concept, right? So how do you think about this kind of apps?
The beer app, right?
Yeah, right.
So the beer app only came out like two days ago.
Yeah.
there are so many before that was exactly like
right.
the app. So many clones, so many inspired apps. This is a big compliment for us. All of these apps are making apps, which is an app. So if you use the beer app, you can just send beer, right? We don't look at Yo as an app that you can send Yo. We look at it as a platform with API that other developers can think about. It's a communication platform. Other developers can think about how to leverage this communication platform, how to use notification as a form of notification for other use cases. So all these apps that are, some of them are a joke. I'm sure the beer app is a joke on the Yo app, and it's funny. Everyone loves beer, so it's not really, I think, in the same space as the Yo platform.
Okay, thanks.
今のかいつまんで話すと、似たようなソフトが出てくる、アプリケーションがどんどん出てくるんだけど、どうすればいいかっていうところで、彼はただYoを送れるプラットフォームだけじゃなくて、そのノティフィケーションを送るようなプラットフォームにしていきたいと言ってましたね。どうですか？ 諸角君。実はゾスっていうアプリを作ってですね、趣味で完全にどうぞコメント。
僕もちょっと日本語で話すと、僕 ZOS っていうアプリ作ってて、友達と作ってるんですけど、完全に Yo のリリースを見て影響を受けて、で僕らの社内で結構 ZOS って言って、おはようございますとかありがとうございますとか、結構そういう短縮した言葉として社内で使ってたんですね。だからこれ便利だなと思って、おはようも言えるし、こんにちはも言えるし、さよならも言えるんで、日本独自のこうYoのクローンができるかなと思って作っています。そこでちょっと質問なんですけど、is it possible to collaborate your clone?
Of course. We have an open API. You're welcome to sign up in the developer dashboard and use it any way you like.
API 使ってってことでした。
Thank you for really interesting your speech. And I want to just ask you a simple question. It is, how many times do you yo in a day? How do you use it? Like high context yo or just simple yo?
I like to use it more with the services, like to get notified about new products from the product hunt blog, and for example for sports teams, and for communication between people. I only use it with people that I actually talk with every day, not with just to annoy people, and not with people that I don't have contacts, because if I am communicating with someone on a daily basis, I have contacts with them, I know where they are, I know what they're doing, and usually I know what the yo means. But if I'm just sending it yos to people that I talk with once a week, then it doesn't really mean something.
Okay, thank you. I now know how to yo. Thanks.
I'm wondering about your plan to make the yo to profit, and in future maybe I'm not sure that is it now it's the time to increase their downloads, or maybe they're a couple years after, or they're very soon this year or next year you make it to their some kind of business model to make money from the yo. I'm wondering.
So I think that monetizing this kind of business is not that hard as opposed to what most people think. Once everyone is going to be on the platform, and a lot of businesses are going to use it, whether it's to push content or to communicate with customers, actually using it for businesses, if it brings value, they will be willing to pay money for it. So once businesses use the platform and they get value from it, they will benefit, they will more than want to pay money for it. So now is not the right time. The platform needs to grow much bigger, but when it becomes big, then that's what's going to happen.
So you're thinking about their business model, they're making money from the companies, not from consumer.
Yeah, for the user, it's going to be free, always.
さっきの話はマネタイズの話で、どういうふうにマネタイズ考えてるのかっていう話で、彼は最初のうちは全然、マネタイズというのを考えてなくて、でもマネタイズはある程度のクリティカルマスを超えればできるだろうという話で、今もうユーザーをどんどん増やすというところに力を入れているという話でした。他にありますか？はい。
Thank you for your speech. What's your dream after this your business has been developed?
Can you repeat that?
このヨアップがある程度収益が見えたら、その後のその展望みたいな感じ。
Your future plan in the future. from in the future? After that, you build the platform. After that, what you can do?
So after the platform is built, we want the ecosystem to build itself, meaning developers will benefit from developing services, Yo services, to the Yo platform, and therefore more developers will come and develop more services. And the platform itself, every time when something gets bigger, you encounter challenges, new challenges, stuff that we don't think about them not right now, but when it becomes bigger, we will have to encounter them.
プラットフォームができたらどんどんもっと大きくして、開発者に貢献していきたいみたいな話でした。はい。他にございますか。はい、どうぞ。
I'm just poor English, but one thing I wanna ask you is, why did you とその兵器となんか連携したっていうか、そういう。
So the API is open, and it's not that we cooperated with any developers. Developers use the API. They don't need our permission. They don't need our any partnership. They simply use the API. And this case, this missile case, is a case that shows that the Yo platform can be used for crazy things, for many things, but it's not that we created it, and it's not that we partnered or we told anyone to do it.
Thank you.
コーポレーションなんですか、一緒に協業したわけじゃなくて API 公開しているので、みんなが普通に使ってくれて、その例が、Yoの可能性が、なんですかね、いろんなところに応用できるっていうところの証明になったかなという話でした。あと5分ぐらい時間がありますけど、はい。
Thank you for your presentation. Actually, I didn't know why this application is so widespread. So, what is the key factor or key point the spreading the application? What's your opinion?
I think there are a few factors. One is obviously the huge media coverage that the app got. And the second thing is that it has a viral factor, because if you want to Yo your friend, you have to tell them to download the app. And as we saw in the beginning, when it comes into an office, everyone downloads it. And if you want to use it with your friend, you have to tell them. And because the app itself is so crazy and so simple and so new, so everybody's, hey, did you hear about the Yo app? Hey, you have to download it, just look at it. It's so stupid. They literally say, the app is so stupid, you have to download it. So it has like a few factors that make it this viral.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I couldn't understand the first one. What is the first one?
The media coverage.
Media coverage. どうやって、拡散したのかっていうのは、メディアでリリースがいっぱいあったのと、2番目はもうバイラルの力で、もう本当にリアルな人しかいないですし、なんですかね、職場に行ったら、よう知ってるみたいな。で、そこで本当にリアルな人たちで交流があって、バイラルで広がっていったのが大きな理由じゃないかと、彼は予測しているそうです。他にございますか？
I just have a simple question. So why do you choose the image color of the, the purple?
The purple, yeah. So as I was saying before, when I was looking on how to design it, I found this flat colors palette, and I don't know why, but purple was the right one. And the funny thing is that later we said, wait a minute, but this is a communication app, and most communication apps are green. WhatsApp, Line, SMS, phone, and we said, let's use the green. So we tried the green, and we said, no, it needs to be the purple.
たまたまなんでこの色を選んだのか、たまたま選んだっていうのが答えで、最初、緑 っていうのがメッセージアプリだと多いので緑にしようっていう話も出たんですが、結局紫にということでした。ありますか？もう多分、はい、どうぞ。
What is the most difficult problem your company needs to solve, and is there any countermeasure or solution?
There is a solution. The solution, one of the problems the company needs to solve is hiring. It's very hard to hire people, especially in San Francisco, when there is very much competition. You have to compete with Facebook, Google, Apple, and many startups. So this is one of the hardest challenges. Another challenge is to keep the users interested and engaged. So the way we countermeasure it is to create all these interesting services that hopefully there will be a service for everyone that people will subscribe to and get notified every once in a while and say, oh right, I have the Yo app and I have to use it. So engagement, hiring, yes, engagement also. Growth is also, it's a challenge. So far we're doing very good with growth, but it's the most valuable thing for a company like us, and this is also a challenge.
今直面している課題が何かっていうと、3つあって、採用と、あと、ユーザーが持続的に使ってくれるかっていうのと、あと高い成長力っていう話です。で、今サンフランシスコに進出したので、やっぱりいろんないい企業があるので、すごいリクルーティングが難しいので大変っていうのと、シンプルなアプリなので、その持続性をどうやって高めていくのかっていうのが非常に課題かなということでした。じゃあ最後の質問で。
About hiring, what is the most important criteria to hire people?
I'm looking for, I call it the 3 C's. First thing is commitment. I'm looking for people who are willing to commit, fully commit to the company, which means they have to always have in their back of their head what is going, like if the server is down, it's not like you go home, you close the computer, you don't check the email. No, you always worry about, you always care about what's going on with the servers, with the app, with the company. So commitment is the first. Second one is competence. Is the ability to actually, okay, so you worry about it, but can you do something about it? So are you competent? Can you, if you are a programmer, can you fix the bug? Can you develop the new feature as fast as we need it? So this is competence. And the third C is communication, because we work as a team, and no one by himself can solve all the challenges that we have, and we need someone for each employee to be able to communicate with the other people on the team.
じゃあ今ハイアリングの話だったんですけど、一つ目何でしたっけ？なんですか、コミットメントの話ですね。ベンチャーだと日本でも一緒だと思うんですけど、コミットできないと多分まだ5人ぐらいしか多分いないと思うんで全然厳しいのかなっていうのと、あと、3番目が、コミュニケーションで、コミュニケーションできることで、2番目なんて言ってましたっけ？コンピテーション。コンピテンス。
Skills, yes.
スキル。だそうです。
The ability to
すいません。フォアのトランスレーション。はい。ということでした。では、最後大きな拍手で終わりたいと思います。拍手お願いします。